Hi again, welcome to another Move and Release. Today's class is all about moving really slowly. Quite often we can get in moods or we can feel kind of an energetic consistency sometimes and it feels like we can't shake it. I'm not sure about anyone here, but this year I've really craved movements that honour my emotions. And don't get me wrong, when it's feeling easy and I'm feeling like I need to kind of get into big movements or big energies, getting outside, I've actually got a set of stairs near me, is quite easy. You know, it's easy to go and repeat some stairs. It's easy to go out and go for a run if you're feeling in the mood to do that. Quite often we try and talk ourselves into movements that don't fit with our energy, and that comes with consistency, practice, support, you know, good people behind you, lots of variables there. But this practice is all about moving in a way that honours how we're feeling. So if we are feeling like we are in need of nourishment and fluidity and slow, this class is really all about that. This is called Soft and Slow, so I'm hoping that that really helps you channel how you're feeling at the moment. We will need a few things today. One of them would be a chair. So if you're more comfortable sitting rather than folding, or if a little bit of upper body movements, a down dog, is not appropriate for your body, your injuries, your preference, then make sure you have a chair or like a little stool nearby. If you've got a block, great. If not, a big book or a couple of pillows might be nice too. As always, really listen to yourself and modify as you need. Hit pause, come back, repeat as you feel necessary. We're going to start the class in a upright version of a forward fold. So one of the options would be to sit on a chair. I'll actually demonstrate it. I don't love this chair, so forgive me. Not my furniture, but that's okay. Option one, if you've got a belly or if you're pregnant, you can work with a chair. Hopefully I'm not out of frame here because I'm not going to be doing much standing stuff, but anyway. If you like, you can come into a forward fold with a block or a book. You can reach yourself down. There are a few options. The other thing you can do if you're working with a chair and you prefer is hold it for steadying. As you come into a forward fold, I'm going to be working without the chair and with the block. So my chair is going to move off to the side. Sorry to ruin the immersion, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't in frame. Alrighty, so you can have your block at the head of your mat or on the ground where you're working. Feet really wide is nice because it makes space for your tummy or your boobs. And you've got the option to hold onto the block. You can even bring the block closer to you and bring your hands to the ground. Bend your legs a lot, whether you're seated, standing, or in a full fold. Take a moment to let your head hang if that feels okay. And just breathe. Forward folds bring us into our body and out of our minds. Inversions are very calming. An inversion is anything that is partially upside down, so you don't have to be in a handstand to get the benefits of an inversion. Now, if you'd prefer to stay static, the legs may be a little active if you're standing up, and that's okay. Try and stay with it if you can. Again, honouring where you're feeling today. Keep the legs, lift the head. Bend them a lot. So if you don't have the hamstring length, don't force it, especially if it doesn't feel comfortable to you. And we're going to come up, kind of up on our hands. So if you're standing and you've got your hands on a chair, this might be a bit easier. And just start to kind of move into your feet. So you might find that you do straighten one leg. You may stay bent through both and shift through the hips. This is to wake up our grounding centers, and our feet, our lower body are grounding. Even if the legs are getting a little active. If you need to, you can stand up and shake them out, but stay with it if you can. And then when you're ready, come down to all fours. Keeping the block, we're going to move it off to one side. Bringing the left leg forward, the right leg stays back. You can keep the back toes curled or tucked, and we're just going to fire on that right glute just to keep us stable. Alrighty, so 90 degrees if you can through both legs. You can stay on all fours here and do some spinal movements if you don't want to position on your knees or slide a pillow under. We won't be here long. We're just trying to bring some activity, again, grounding centers, glutes. And then when you're ready, use your hands to step yourself up. Left leg's going to stay forward, right leg back. Block will stay. You're going to hold onto it if you've got a pillow or even a piece of furniture to anchor onto. We're going to come into a lunge. Now, right leg's going to bend. You can do this standing as well if you prefer. So if you feel a bit more comfortable with an upright position, you can keep your chair, hold on to that and stay in your lunge. You won't get as deep. That's a modification for you. Right leg will bend, holding onto your block, furniture, what have you, book. I want you to think of dipping your head down and kind of pulling towards that bent leg. So we want a nice big curve through the right side of the body. And if you can, try and lengthen from your fingertips to your right foot, whether you are lunged or upright. Breathe. Maybe expand into that right rib cage. Gently come back up. We're going to switch sides, so it might be easier just to drag your furniture to the other leg. We're going to lower left knee. Toes on the rear leg can stay tucked or untucked, wherever you're comfortable. 90-degree angles through both legs. Left glute switches on, give it a big squeeze. If you like here, try and really focus on your pelvis. So quite often we are in a tilt. We want to think of tucking the tailbone under. If you had a tail and you were a puppy dog, you want to think of it sounds a bit mean, but sad puppy. Tuck it underneath, really fire up the glute. We won't stay here long. Take a deep breath in. Stay as you breathe out. Using your hands or however you need to straighten up off the ground, using your chair, block or book, holding on, left leg lunge. We're going to bend. Again, you might feel more comfortable through the hips or belly if you have something higher up. Wherever you are, really try and stretch through the arms. I'm not extending too much because I don't want to cut off my mic, but reach the arms. And extend through the left side body. Take a big breath into your left rib cage. Let it go. Slowly coming up. Most active part of the class now, I promise. We are going to come into a variation, either a dolphin, a down dog, or an elevated down dog. Now, if you can, go for a dolphin, even just to try it for a second or two, see how it feels in your body. If it doesn't feel appropriate, if you've got injuries through here, then obviously back off through it. I'm going to show you how the position looks and then I'll talk you through it. A dolphin is a harder progression on a down dog. I'm going to start there. A down dog is planted hands, shoulder width apart. From here, we push our bottoms up to the sky. We bend our legs as much as we need, because the issue is not straight legs here, it is a straight spine. So if I offer a bend in my legs, I can push from my fingertips to my sacrum and make my spine nice and long. Modifications on this are a down dog. It's similar through the upper body with forearms. So forearms come to shoulder width apart. Hands can be together in prayer or interlaced, or they can be flat on the ground, however you prefer. I honestly change depending on how I feel on the day. I'm going to do the old pre-tuck of the t-shirt in anticipation of an inversion. It's a pro tip for you. We look down to the mat and then our gaze goes back towards our toes. We still push through our arms to lengthen through fingertips and sacrum, bent legs a lot, and then send your bottom up to the sky. From here, the last variation is grabbing your chair again. This is really good if you're working with introducing weight bearing through your shoulders. If you're not just up to putting heavy weight, maybe you're rehabilitating injuries, maybe your mobility through your shoulders is working to kind of have an increased range of movement and you're building up to a down dog. You would hold on to your stool. Keep the same posture through your legs. Shoulder width or slightly wider, bend the knees a lot, and then lengthen from fingertips to sacrum. Gazing down at your feet, keeping the head tucked up so we're not collapsing. Spend a moment playing around with your variations if you haven't already, and then find one that feels appropriate to you. I'm going to come into a dolphin. Lengthen through the spine. Push into the ground or your chair, depending on what prop you used, if you were using a prop. Gaze between the toes, breathe. Lengthen through the spine. Take a deep breath here, we won't stay much longer. Let it go. Lower to your knees or your seat. And then roll through the shoulders. Whichever variation you are in, even if it's something that you play with and practice, strengthening and opening the shoulders. As much as it sounds weird, our shoulders are part of our grounding centers as well. Strong scapulars, strong shoulders make for a healthy body, a physical body, which helps lend itself to a healthy energetic body. So any movements through the shoulders that you like, you can take. And then from here, we're going to come into twisting variations. So if you've been into a yoga class or a various practice and you might lie on your back and hug your knees to your chest, you can do that. I'm going to show you a version of a seated twist. We've been working with chairs a little bit today. Maybe you have at home. You can go into a modified version on the ground with any version of a twist that you like. Make sure that you support your lower back. I'm going to be sitting on my block today. That's a lot more comfortable if you're sitting on a chair. So when you're ready, find a comfortable place to sit if you're not already seated. Take a moment to lengthen the spine. So take a breath in, draw the crown of the head up. As you breathe out, soften the shoulders. Always nice to set yourself up before you twist. That's a safety thing. If you're ever twisting the spine, make sure that it is long before it twists. You're going to bring hands together, extended at about shoulder width. As you breathe in, lengthen the spine again. Keep the hands elevated, soften the shoulders, breathe out. And then right hand is going to extend towards shoulder height. Keep your gaze towards it, alrighty? So we don't want to twist through the lower back. Try and think of keeping the lower back nice and still. If you're sitting on a chair, it's about not moving your bottom. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, hands going to come back through center. We're going to work on a single plane. Right hand opens, inhale. Take your gaze with it. Exhale together. One more, inhale, open right hand. Exhale together. Switch over, left hand opens up, breathe in. Exhale back through center, just moving through the upper body. Inhale, open. Exhale together. Last one, deep breath in, open. Exhale together. On the next breath in, both hands are going to twist to the right. You're not going to get as far. In fact, I'm quite tested in my thoracic twisting, which is what we're doing. Twisting through the thoracic body. Take a breath in. Exhale, come back through center. This time we're going to switch sides. Inhale, go left. Keeping your hips fixed, alrighty? It's not about big twists through the whole body. It's about little twists through the upper body. Inhale, lengthen the spine if you lost it. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, twist opposite side. I get less far. Exhale through center. Open up, opposite side, breathe in. Exhale through center. Drop the hands, the shoulders can have a roll. If you were able to keep the hands up for that period of time, you can come into some side bends. You can even roll. If you are seated, it's really nice to take your knees wide. In a chair, I meant. Holding onto the thighs or the knees. And you can come into like some cat-cows, a seated cat-cow variation. Even if you're on the ground or you've got the mobility to bring your hands to the ground. It can be really nice, even whether you're on the chair or the ground, to bring a hand off to the side and let the rib cage lengthen. Anyone that knows me knows my rib cage movement is something that I love. It's where I get sticky and stuck. From here, we're going to come into one of my favorites, legs up the wall, waterfall. I'm sure it has other names. My little hack for tuning into our central nervous system and trying to get it to calm down. So if you haven't heard this tip from me, you're going to wiggle your bottom or your hips as close to a wall or a couch as you can. From here, you're going to lie on the ground. And extend the legs up. Now I've obviously got a heater in my way and I can straighten my legs quite comfortably, but I quite like to bend my legs too. Now, if you've got short hamstrings, injuries in the lower back or the legs, you might prefer a variation where you are either bent through the legs. It can be quite nice to even have your feet or your legs at a 90-degree angle on a couch. It doesn't matter how straight or bent they are. What's more important is that your sacrum, the very base of your spine and where your pelvis attaches to your spine, is flat. We are going to be here for a few minutes. So find the place where your sacrum is flush to the ground. Think of it pushing down into the earth and anchoring you. Hands can rest flat against your hips or your tummy. Close your eyes. Let your breath slow down. Give yourself space to let go of or feel anything within you that maybe needs to be seen or needs the permission to move through and out of you. And if there's one thing you take from this practice, maybe into your life, it is this pose. Legs up the wall, waterfall, whatever you want to call it. This is an amazing way to recover at the end of a workout. It helps the blood come back into your body. It helps your energy settle down into your body as well. If you're feeling heightened or flighty, even if you read a book or listen to some music in this pose for 5 minutes at the end of your day, I guarantee you your energy, your nervous system will be happier for it. So this is where I will leave you. Stay here for as long as you need. Take some time to connect in with yourself, and I'll see you soon.